I'd like to welcome everyone today. Thank you for joining us on this nice, wet, cold morning. I'd like to welcome everyone. Kit, David has you down for doing the invocation again today. Is that what you have?
Yes, sir. Would you bow with me for just a moment, please? As we gather here today, may we ever be reminded of the commitment of our fellow members to the guiding principles of Rotary. We acknowledge the blessings of being among other like-minded individuals who seek to do good within this community as well as beyond. Help us to make productive use of our time together and in each setting we find ourselves today. Grant us wisdom, peace, and a sense of gratitude for the many opportunities we may have. As we transition into our meeting, let us continue to be mindful of our friend Tom Anderson, who recently lost the love of his life and partner of 65 years, Miss Alice. We pray for comfort in the presence of grief and the blessing of wonderful memories to overtake the pain of loss. These things we ask in your name. Amen. You'll join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kat. And thank you for remembering Tom.
Yeah, I understand there were some people that weren't aware, so I just wanted to one more time, Larry, kind of put that out there so people did know what he was going through.
Well, I appreciate it. At this moment, I know Pat sent the minutes out from last. Anyone have any recommend any adjustments? If not, I'd like to move on. Don't have any member birthdays this week. At least that's what Dag DB was informing me of. But we do have one anniversary. Joan has been a member since January 29th of 1991 of 31 years. Congratulations. Thank you.
Hey.
At this point, a welcoming guest. I have Devon, who's going to be our program speaker. I'll introduce him shortly. And Ron, we have you on board. But you start to become one of our wintertime regulars. It's great to see you. And at this point, if you'll raise your hand, if you have a happy buck, and we'll go do the round table. Any happy bucks this week, Pat?
I'm happy to say I had a long conversation with Ann Kennedy this morning, and she's doing fine. And she is living half the year in Cody, Wyoming, but half the year in Dunedin. And she wants to be an honorary member of our club so that she can get our communications. And she attends the club in Wyoming when she's there. She loves it because it's a very small club and they meet outdoors.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay.
Kent, did you have anything?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I just wondered if anybody knew of the Museum of the Arts and Crafts Movement in St. Petersburg. It's kind of new. You do, Pat?
Yeah.
It's just been there since September. And I have a happy buck because I love that museum. Mm-hmm. I was so surprised because arts and crafts didn't really sound like my thing, but it sort of preceded the Deco period, 1880 to 1920-ish, and started in England and sort of worked its way across Europe and then to us, to the USA. And yeah, I just can highly recommend it. It's got a beautiful gift shop, beautiful cafe, and just the elegance which is laid out there on its, I think, 5 floors was pretty impressive. What did you think, Pat?
Well, I went there with my husband and my son and daughter-in-law, and we had a wonderful time. And you know what? I really like the old lamps, the beautiful old lamps that they have a whole room full of. And everything was so interesting, though. Yeah, everything. Yes,
Yeah.
the gift shop was a great gift shop for sure.
It was. My husband had joined the museum. He just wanders around here because he doesn't, he's new to Florida. And he joined the museum. So, he gets in free, I think, and me for limited amount. And just, you could go there just to the cafe, I think.
Right.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. I did not realize that was there. I usually try to keep up with that sort of thing. Ken, did you have anything? I see you have your hand raised. If not, we can mosey on. All right. Well, if there's no other happy bucks, then what I'd like to do is go ahead and move into our program. Yes, Tom?
I have some unfortunate happy bucks. On the day that the Bucks lost, my team happened to pull it out in overtime against Buffalo. I feel badly for the Bucks and all the fans here, but I can't help but say, "Yay, Chiefs!" Okay, I'm done.
Feel better now? I was waiting for somebody to bring that particular option up. We have so many transplants here.
It was an unbelievable game. Actually, all four of them were.
All four of them were awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty evenly matched. They were enjoyable joy to watch for those who watched it.
I was with you, Tom. I thought the Chiefs were done, and then you're ready to send out condolences, and and the comeback kid came back.
They lost that game 3 times before they won it.
I'll tell you what. 5 more minutes, and the luck of the coin, and the Bucks would have won. So,
yeah.
I figure I figured anybody with 2 more minutes on the clock would have beat the other team.
Yep.
However, that's what the Bills had. The Buffalo Bills had 2 minutes. They just left 13 seconds for Mahomes.
yes. Well, there's nothing for the Buccaneers to be sad, because from where they were 3 years ago to now, total difference.
Yeah, amazing what a difference in a quarterback will make, isn't it?
Or a coin toss.
All right, if there's nothing else, I'll introduce our speaker.
Oh, Larry, I just wanted
Yes.
to, can I mention this, 2 things real
Yes.
quickly before we start? One,
Yes, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to say that next week we have an interesting program by Ned Berry, and he has someone coming with him that's been involved in the Guatemalan Literacy project, the global grant. She's been involved for years. So I'm really looking forward to hearing her insights and updates about the program. So I hope that we have a good turnout for the 2 of them. And this will be the first of, I think, about 3 things that International is going to do. We've been very busy so far this year, and we do want to share what we're doing with the entire club. And then the other thing is did you know about the Peace Poll? Because that's fast approaching. February 23rd will be here before we know it, 6 o'clock at Highlander Park. And I understand today they were supposed to, I hope this isn't our luck, but today they were supposed to plant the Peace Pole and put the signage and the benches up, but I guess they'll have to wait till tomorrow. But the soil will be just right, won't it? To dig those holes and get everything set for us and get the landscaping in. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful celebration and dedication. And I wanted you to know, well, did you know that Wendy Barmore, our own Wendy Barmore, will be the MC for the event that evening? And also David Sheeler, he, with his FM voice, will do the prayer and a little bit about social justice and the Peace Poll. And then our very own president, Larry Franklin, will talk to us just briefly about what the Peace Poll with its 8 languages really means for the city of Dunedin. And we will have more every week, 4 weeks until February 23rd. And so stand by, because I will bring you some more fast facts about the Peace Pole dedication event. Thank you. And thanks, Larry, for giving me just a brief moment here.
I'm glad you stepped in, because I've been at the Interact Club rushing home and it slipped my mind if you and I talked 2 hours ago. Yes, Ken?
I would just like to add what Bev said. This is a golden opportunity for our club to have each of our members bring a guest to that Peace Pole project. I think there's no better way to illustrate what Rotary does, not only for our community, but for the world. So let's get off our lazy rear ends and invite a well-meaning and sought after guest to join our club.
Thank you, Ken. How many of you are planning on attending that evening, February 23rd at 6 o'clock? Okay, just about everybody. Thank you, thank you. Get the word out, keep the buzz going. I'll press mute now.
Yep, I got we're working with the youth, the students at the high school, and they're working on the Peace Pole posters now. So that is underway. All right. Anything else? All right, I'm going to try this one more time. All right. I'd like to introduce our speaker. He and I crossed paths last spring through Dunedin Council organizations. I was very impressed with keeping up with what they do, and asked him to present to our club and inform us about what Keep Pinellas Beautiful is, what they're about, what they're doing, and that sort of thing. So at this point, I'll introduce Yvonne, who started working with Keep Pinellas Beautiful as a volunteer intern in May of 2018 and officially joined the team as a part-time staff member in January 2020. As the education program coordinator, Yvonne is leading the design and implementation of microplastics education and outreach program engaged in the community in in-person and virtual education presentations and leading beach cleanups. Yvonne's passion has always been in the environment conservation, but initially became marine focused when he had the privilege of scuba diving at the Great Barrier Reef, Australia. Since then, Yvonne has acquired marine biology and ecology skills and knowledge through various opportunities around the world. As an intern with the School for Field of Studies in the Turks and Caicos Islands, earning his master's in marine science at Hawaiian Pacific University, working as a marine turtle research associate with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in Honolulu, Hawaii, and supervising sea turtles in aquatic biology department with Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Yvonne is now thrilled to be leading Keeping Pinellas Beautiful education initiatives, expanding and organized online and virtual materials. Yvonne loves to cook and grill, scuba dive, watch movies, play kickball, and cheer on his Wisconsin Badgers in his spare time. So at this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to you, Yvonne, and thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you. This is always so much fun for us to share what we do with the people in the community. That's really what we're all about. Would you be able to turn on the or promote me to co-hosts? That might be able to allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, I have already turned. Let me quick check, because I already had that turned on. I just got to find you real quick. All right, try it now.
I think it's going to work. Yep, here we go. All right, let's do that. Perfect. All right, well, so my name is Devin Frank. I'm the Education Program Coordinator here with Keep Pinellas Beautiful. I'm here to tell you guys all about our organization today, basically how we empower Bay Area residents of all ages to become environmentally responsible citizens. So Keep Pinellas Beautiful is the local affiliate of Keep America Beautiful. Keep America Beautiful was founded back in the 1950s. It's a national environmental nonprofit, and it's a public education organization. It's actually now the largest community improvement nonprofit organization in the entire country. And their mission is to engage individuals to take responsibility for improving their community's environment. And really during the 1960s is when it really sort of grew. And basically they made ad campaigns, things with iconic characters like Lassie, Woody Woodpecker, and Smokey the Bear, really just to get people to join the movement to stop littering. That was starting to be a bigger issue. And then basically over time, they grew. They realized they could do so much more than just make advertisements. So they started small grassroots organizations. And today there's almost 1,000 Keep America Beautiful affiliates across the whole country. It's actually about 49 already here in Florida. And Keep Pinellas Beautiful is your local affiliate here in Pinellas County. Basically, we're providing practical ways for everyone to get involved in improving the environmental health of our community, engaging residents in environmental improvement initiatives. So our mission is to conserve and beautify our natural environment by means of community engagement, education, and empowerment. Basically, we've been around since 1992, and this is basically what we focus on doing. And we do this, we accomplish our mission through focusing on 4 specific areas. So we focus on litter prevention, waste reduction, conservation, and beautification and community greening. Basically, we work with businesses, schools, neighborhood groups, local governments to talk about and take on the issues like illegal dumping, roadway litter, water pollution, neglected vacant lots, even graffiti, urban runoff into our local waterways, lack of green spaces. All these types of things is what fit into our 4 focal areas. So our 3 big words that we focus on are educate, engage, and empower. Those are really the 3 things we want to do at the end of every day. So the first step is education. Basically, not everyone in the community understands what these big environmental issues are even in the first place, or they don't understand the impact they're making on them. So we do presentations like this, or we do in-person presentations, or we teach classes, whatever it might be to get people to learn. But then we take it that extra step and we want to get people engaged too. We actually want to get people out doing these activities, whether it's doing beach cleanups or roadway cleanups, helping us to plant native plants. Just over the weekend, even, we had an event where we planted mangroves to help stabilize shorelines and provide habitat and strengthen the environment. Or removing invasive species, planting gardens, planting trees. All of these are the types of things that we do to get people engaged. And then what happens is when people get involved, they develop this sense of empowerment, that they feel like they're actually making a difference in the environment in their community, because they are, by doing these types of things. And then they start telling their friends and family, and suddenly you have more people that are getting on board and wanting to do what they can to help the environment. And it sort of gets built into their everyday routine of just the little things that they can do to help protect the environment. And that's really what our goal and what we're all about at the end of every day. So as you might expect, the area that we cover is Pinellas County, since we are Keep Pinellas Beautiful. And that's the entirety of it. All 35 miles of beaches, 588 miles of coastline, 11 barrier islands, 56 watersheds, 3 state parks, 4 county preserves, 19 county parks. There's a lot of area just in our county that we need to cover. And we're only a staff of about 7 people or so, and 1 or 2 of us are even part-time. So there's no way that we can do what we do just by ourselves. We rely on our volunteers and on memberships and sponsorships and groups just like you guys to help us be able to fulfill our mission and keep Pinellas beautiful. And we do this through a variety of programs and services that we have. So I'll run through these real quick with what we do. So first off, our education initiatives. As you might guess, with our Educate, Engage, Empower, this is a huge part of what we do. We do in-person presentations, virtual presentations. We actually have set up a green screen room in our office now, which I'm super excited about, so we can do live webinars with students and film our educational videos as well. We also do outreach events where we go to markets or fairs or festivals and talk to people about the issue of the day, things like that. So that's a big part of what we do. Then we like to get students involved too. That's a big part, is getting our youth involved. We have what we call our Volunteens program. Basically, we work with middle and high school students, giving them all the different opportunities that we provide for volunteering and helping them earn their community service hours. For the younger kids, we have a program called Kids Can, where a few times a year we'll do an event that's aimed just at like elementary and preschool, kindergarten age kids and their families, having them help with a cleanup, with some education, maybe doing a gardening event, things like that to get them involved as well. And then also for our older students, we just started up a youth advisory council. It's like a student council, but for the environment. They just actually helped us host and create an event we did last night, which was an environmental expert panel, basically getting 6 pretty well-known environmental professionals who are here in the Tampa Bay area to talk to youth about their career paths and how they got to where they are. So that council is doing some pretty cool stuff. We've just launched a high school chapter program so that we can kind of get involved with the different environmental and service clubs that are in our high schools. So there's always more and more that we're doing to get students involved. We then have our Adopt a Mile program, our adoption program. That's one of our more popular programs that we have, where individuals or families or organizations or businesses or classes or groups, whatever it might be, come together and they say, you know what, there's this stretch of road that really means something to us. Basically, it's where we live, it's where we work, things like that. And we want to take it upon ourselves to help keep it clean. And with that, then they can enter into a free 2-year contract with us. I should mention all of our programming is free that we offer. Basically, that they just take it under their wing to help to keep that stretch of road clean. But it's not just a road. It started with Adopt a Mile, so it could be a road or highway, but we now do adopt a trail. You can adopt part of a trail. We've got adopt a neighborhood, adopt a park, adopt a shoreline, adopt a community, all these types of things, and it's, groups like the Dunedin Rotary Club, doing an adopt a community type program would be really cool for sure. We then do basic community improvement. This is sort of where our beautification events fall in, doing things like planting trees, removing invasive species, gardening, all those types of things. Again, working with everything from individuals to groups to businesses to classes to people of all different ages, doing all these different types of events. We do have a couple big annual events that we have each year. The first happens in the spring, which is the Great American Cleanup. This is hosted by Keep America Beautiful and happens across the whole country, doing all different types of cleanups and beautification events and things like that. Usually about 3 to 4 million people participate in this each year in the springtime, usually around March is when this is. And then in the fall, usually around October, we have the International Coastal Cleanup. And this is hosted by the Ocean Conservancy. And what's cool about this is it's international. So they do cleanups all over the entire world, where basically people all have data sheets. And as they pick up their litter, everyone is literally tallying every single item that they're picking up. And then all those data sheets get compiled and they get sent off to the Ocean Conservancy. And I can tell you, I'm glad I don't have that job to compile all that and look at everybody's data sheet from all over the world and compile that data, because I think that's a lot. But they get some really cool data from this kind of stuff that actually goes right into our education that we do. So really, really cool event that we do in the fall. And then a year-long thing that we're doing now is our Pick Up Pinellas program, which is an individualized cleanup. So basically small groups, 2 to 5 people, groups of family, a group of friends can basically choose the location, day, and time of their own cleanup that they want to do. So if they can't make it to one of our public events, they can literally choose their own little cleanup to host when and where is convenient for them. So a lot of really great programs that we have just related to cleanups as well. We've also got our ambassador program, which is also relatively new. Basically, we get so many requests from the community to do different kinds of events that we just need help in running them to be able to do them all. So we train in volunteers who are leaders and want to be really involved with us, basically in the areas of gardening, education, microplastics, and leading our cleanup events, so that we can rely on them and say, hey, are you available? We've got a request to do this education outreach event or to do this cleanup event. And then they can be like, yeah, I can help run that. And basically help us just to expand our mission to more of the county and the community. So that's always a place we're looking for volunteers as well. One of our very brand new programs is our Hospitality Eco Partnership Program. Basically, as always, this is a free partnership for our coastal Pinellas County hotels. This program features staff education and training on stormwater debris and coastal environments, complimentary ecotourism and volunteer activities for staff and guests, and opportunities to reduce plastic plus eco-friendly sample products. So environmental opportunities in this program that are offered are things like our Adopt Your Coast program. We do group and special event cleanups. We provide eco experience tours, and there's also a litter prevention program. So a lot of cool stuff going on with that. And lastly, our litter hotline is one of our programs that if people are driving along the road and they might see a big pile of litter or trash or furniture, whatever it might be, they can give us a call. And basically we can go and assess and see if that's something that we can pick up, or we work with our partners to get those items picked up. So our impact from our whole organization just over the last year, in 2021, we gave 550 educational presentations, able to attend 14 outreach events, basically as the world started opening back up a little bit. And through this, we were able to educate just under 13,000 people. And what I think is one of the biggest numbers on this page is the next one, which is the number of volunteers, 14,800 volunteers. There is no way that anything else on this page is possible without the help of our volunteers and our sponsors and our members and things like that who help us to make all of this happen. Like I said, we're only a staff of about 7 people, so we can't do all of this by ourselves. So with them, able to run 1,260 community projects, able to remove 166,000 pounds of litter from our communities. We're able to remove 73,000 pounds of invasive materials. Just one way to look at this then is saving the community a little over $1 million that would otherwise need to be spent in removing the litter or removing those invasive species. And, that's just one good aspect, let alone all the benefits to the environment for those things being gone. So there we go. You might be wondering, well, what about Dunedin? That's your guys' area. So we looked up our numbers for 2021, and up in Dunedin, we gave 10 educational presentations and had 1 outreach event. 332 individuals educated up there, 534 volunteers from your community, which is awesome, 41 projects up that way, removed a little over 1,000 pounds of litter, 580 pounds of invasive material removed, a lot of great stuff. But of course, there's always room to do more. And, that's one of the reasons why we love, talking to groups like you guys, because this is how we expand and do more in communities, across all of Pinellas County. So just out of curiosity, if you are wondering, some of our program financials, our budget for each year is just a little over $500,000 or so that we work with. And that comes from a variety of sources. One is from the county itself, who gives us about $380,000 a year. But this is only for our litter prevention and waste reduction. So we have to find funding, as well as a little bit for those, but for all the other things we do too. And that'll come from things like memberships and sponsorships. It comes from our fundraisers. For instance, our golf tournament that we have each year in the fall, which I'll tell you just about our upcoming one in a slide or two here. We also apply for a lot of grants. I know our programs director right now, she's working on 4 or 5 of them simultaneously right now. But then we also have business partnerships for some of the projects that we do. But what's important to note is that every penny that we collect that gets given to us stays right here in Pinellas County to benefit the people and the environment right here. And basically, the more money we bring in, the more we can do. So we're always, asking for more help, especially to be able to work in, more areas that don't get as much coverage as others. So if you are interested in a membership, we have memberships for students, individuals, and families. And basically, this will give you, first off, of course, the satisfaction that you are helping us and yourself to keep Pinellas beautiful. You'll get an email letter of thanks, an electronic membership card, an electronic commemorative membership certificate. You'll get updates about different environmental issues and activities. Of course, a positive environmental reputation, and then you get invitations to our special events as well. We also have memberships for businesses on a few different levels, which entitle you to all the same things. Plus, it's a great opportunity to network with like-minded individuals too. You get a window cling that recognizes that you are a donor is a supporter of KPB. You get an opportunity to our limited sponsorships. Company name gets listed on our website. You get recognition in our annual report, which I know we're working on right now for last year, and recognition at our annual awards luncheon, which is coming up in a couple of weeks too. And of course, sponsorships too. As I mentioned, one of our biggest events is coming up in October. Tentatively, as of right now, October 3rd is our annual golf tournament, the Tournament of the Roseate. We had our best ever golf tournament last October. It was so much fun. We had about 100 participants who got to do different things like our spirited putting is what I think it was called. And we had these sponsors, that help us with this event for all the different little activities like that, or for the longest drive award or things like that. So there's a lot of great ways to get involved, whether through sponsorships with this, or even if you want to be a player, and get a small group of 4 together. This a lot of fun, and all goes straight to what we do. But otherwise, what else can you do? Just really in your everyday lives to help protect the environment? Well, it used to just be the reduce, reuse, recycle, but there are so many other R words that we focus on now. It's almost become like a pyramid. So the first thing that you want to do is rethink. So you might, be about to go do an activity or something, and you realize that you're using single-use plastics or whatever it might be. So the first thing you want to do is think, what else could I do differently? And some of those things you can do, especially if it is a single-use plastic, is you can refuse to use that single-use plastic in the first place. Choose to use something reusable or more sustainable. For instance, you can skip the straw. There's metal straws, bamboo straws, silicone straws. There's even the best option, which is no straw at all, if you don't need one. If you do need one, that's totally great, but not everybody needs a straw. Next up, we want to reduce. We just basically, if we cut back on the amount of stuff that we throw out and stuff that we use, there's just going to be less litter. It just is literally that simple. We can reuse things like reusable water bottles or grocery bags, things like that. It's just about trying to find more uses for things rather than just throwing things out. Some fun words to add in here: repurpose and repair. It's possible that, rather than just throwing something out if it's broken, you could potentially fix it, use it again. Or repurpose, changing the purpose of an item entirely. Before you throw out or recycle that a milk jug, maybe you can turn it into a bird feeder or a birdhouse. Turn it into art. Find a whole new use for it to make it last longer. That's really the idea. And then, of course, recycle. That's, of course, a great thing to do if none of the other options are available for you. So a lot of great things you can do just in your everyday lives. So that basically wraps up our All About Keep Pinellas Beautiful presentation here. So just remember that all these programs and services really do depend on the help from our volunteers, like all of you. So basically, this is an option for everyone to take action, and you can join us. You can consider officially adopting an area of Dunedin through our organization, becoming official members or sponsors as well. Basically, just it's an option, an opportunity to take pride in where we live and do what you can for the betterment of our communities and environment. And it's important to note that every action, no matter how small it is, it has an impact on our planet, and that we can all make a difference. And of course, together, we can all keep Pinellas beautiful. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, if you'll want to share your screen, we'll go back to the membership view.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Yes,
Devon, thanks a lot for that. I appreciate it. But how do you guys promote this? I don't see a lot. I see some of these things, but I don't see all of them out there. How do you promote it?
How do we promote like the different events and programs and things? Well, we have, first off, things go up on our website whenever we have new events or programs or things. We have a weekly newsletter that we send out to all the people that participate with us. We gather emails from people in different ways and send them that. We've got social media. We've got Facebook, Instagram. I think we're building a Pinterest page. We're on LinkedIn. All these different types of things. Depending on the event, we might do specific targeted type advertising. Like for instance, for our expert panel that we had just the other night, we reached out to all the counselors or advisors at all the high schools in the area. We reached out to some college professors, things like that. So we're still working on getting our name known. And as we do more of this, we get more people that follow us, and it's easier to reach people once they kind of get involved with us. But that's always the first step, is just making people aware of what we do.
So it's best if we get our name on your list, so then we'll get notified, right?
It's easiest for you too, because then you don't have to think about it, and we just send you
There you
those
go.
those messages, and
I'll
you
do
can
that.
check them. Absolutely.
Sally?
Thanks, Devon. It's very interesting and helpful to know all of this.
Yeah.
We used to be involved in our Rotary Club on a road cleanup, and we've kind of not done that for quite a few years. And of course, it takes somebody to chair it and rally the troops and so on. How often do you like to have a road cleanup? We had, I think it was Duncan, or gosh, I'm not sure which street it was. Anyway.
Sure. Yeah. So it varies. It varies for everybody. As far as like public events go, doing cleanups, just the general public, we often have a lot of partner organizations that reach out to us and just want to set up cleanups every once in a while. And basically we're prepping on average, probably about 5 to 10 cleanups per week. And people will come and pick up the gear and go do their cleanup, and then they come drop the gear back off. And those are our public events. But we also have those adoptions then. And with the adoptions, we just have the request that our adoptees do at least 4 cleanups a year, but some do them once a month. Some do them even more often. That's totally up to the adoptee, as far as how frequently they'd want to do the cleanups in the spot that they've symbolically adopted.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And can we go to keep Pinellas beautiful for membership information?
Yes, absolutely. Let me put in the chat. I'll put our website, which is www.kpbcares.org. Yep, all that information is there, and I'll give you guys my email too, so that if you have any questions, I can. If for some reason I can't answer it, because I'm not the biggest expert on our memberships and sponsorships, but if I can't answer it, then I can put you in touch with my coworkers who can.
Okay.
So
thank you very much.
No, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Always happy to answer these types of questions and work with groups just like you guys.
Any other questions? I have one myself. Someone had to drop off because of another meeting. His question was, he knows the Adopt-A-Mile, and he was interested. Is there any? He was interested in Pinellas Trail. Is there any areas still available on the Pinellas Trail that's up for adoption?
That would be a good question to email me about. I don't know off the top of my head. I know that there are sections for sure that have been adopted, but I would be surprised if they have all been adopted. So yeah, for sure, send me an email, and I can put you in touch with our adoptions team, and they'll definitely know the answer to that question, for sure.
I will. I'll forward it to you.
Perfect, and I can put you in touch for sure with our adoptions team.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions? If there's not, then Devon, thank you very much. I enjoyed this as much as I did last year. Very educational.
Yeah, thank you all for letting me come and talk about what we do. It's always fun for me to spread the word about what we do. So thank you all for inviting us.
You're welcome. All right, this time, well, Pat, it's present a book time. You got to unmute yourself first. Pat, unmute. Hello, Pat.
There we go. I don't know. My computer seems to be not responding. Devin, what we do is our speakers are asked to sign a book. And since we're not meeting in person, I do the signing and for you. And these books are delivered to our schools around Christmas time each year. And they do appreciate it so much. And I'll pick out a good one that has to do with the environment for you. That's awesome. When our new supply of books arrives. It's on the way. So I know I ordered some that are very, very focused on our environment.
That's great. That's perfect.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next week, as Bev mentioned, it's something we're looking at and I'm going to try to get more involved in, and that's to be one of our international projects. The Guatemala Literacy Project will be our program next week. Should be very interesting, and I think you get an idea of where our club is supporting and where our money's going. So I hope y'all will spread the word to other members to join us. I think it should be very interesting. I know I'm looking forward to it. As for announcements, we already mentioned about the Peace Poll that is coming up. It's like Ken mentioned earlier, we are the drivers of this project. So please plan on attending and bring somebody with you. And you can bring more than one if you like. We're not particular in that category. As I sent y'all an email out earlier, I believe 2 weeks ago, about Tarpon Springs Rotary Club. They're doing the Rise Against Hunger meal packing event coming up on February 12th. I think you can still register for that, I believe, if you haven't already. And as for the grants committee, we're still accepting grants till the end of March. So if you know of any nonprofits out there, please pass it on that we are available and we are accepting grants if they're a nonprofit. So please keep that in mind. Now, does anyone else have any announcements or questions for us? If not, at this point.
I do.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Wendy was unable to attend at the last minute today. She asked me to remind everyone that we will be doing cleanup of the Rotary Park that's on the Causeway on February 6th. Wendy and Tom Murphy and myself went out there and walked it, and it's been cleaned up some. So we felt the work, excuse me, the work would not be as long. So we've changed the time from 1 to 2, and that is a Sunday, February 6th. And then we'll go to a place nearby and have lunch. And so she wanted me to also tell you that a P-mail flyer that, thank you, Dina, is putting together will be coming to you very, very shortly. So again, February 6th, 1 to 2.
Thank you for mentioning that, because I actually got it written down here and I still didn't bring it up. But I'm not surprised that you're not finding that better shape, because I know the city of Dunedin cleans up the Dunedin Causeway every weekend. So maybe what's happening is they're getting in there and helping us out, getting there before we are, cleaning it up. Because I spoke with a gentleman who works on that every weekend with the city as a volunteer. So I was kind of surprised when it first came up with the condition it was in. But maybe they've started adding that to their list. So I know they do the entire Dunedin Causeway. I think it's every Sunday morning.
Sorry to interrupt, but Linda, what's that start time?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay.
1 to 2 on Sunday, February 6th. And we'll get directions for those who may not know where it's at. Dave Kelly walks by it every Friday.
Anything else? If not, we'll go into the four-way test. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And 4th, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I would like to thank everyone for attending today. Devon, thank you for joining us. And we are officially adjourned. Have a great week, everyone.